crazy game. I kind of just want to put out of my head, but you know, the ETC stage dives still a little bit lackluster, but the power of double support Hanzo, I think, a lot more impressive. That's still a second takeaway I think we can have from this game as we head into now another longer map with the Dragonshire pick.
Yep, I think they could have got the game. 2% is not too far away from taking the game. Of course, they did lose because of that. So, lots of things to be discussed, but we're going into game 4. It's going to be Dragonshire, guys. And this one, I think GLuck needs to come back and take the Haka instead. They were really getting pressured from the beginning. That's why they took stage dive. They lost the keep wall, half of the keep wall before the second temple phase.
Yeah.
That's like before minute 10, of course.
Yeah, they were really behind in terms of structures for sure. Will this be the Shimada ban the first time? Nope. Tracer banned again. So no Tracer. Can't first pick the Genji. Gotta go Grey main. So they've got a strong pusher and a very quick camper on this map. Who can also do the solo camp, the night camp solo on this map after a certain point. Genji Uther is left available. That's the one thing that can go wrong if you leave this open like this, but BlossoM got what they wanted. Strong pairing. Now, the question is, what's the answer? That answer has been said by many to be banning the Genji, but we've seen in the past ETC strong at shutting down high mobility heroes, Blaze as well. This is the same comp we saw earlier today to shut down the Genji. That was relatively successful. And you've also locked in everything but support, so you have flexible choices for support. Your opponent already has support, so you're not worried about it getting banned out or anything like that, or stolen away.
I do like this ban. Putting that Junkrat out of the game.
It looks like Saron likes it more though, man. He stood up and clapped when it happened.
Well, Saron, he was going to play Blaze anyhow, so it was not his...
Sure, I just mean like maybe they were worried about a different ban.
Maybe a Rehgar, Stukov, any of the supports, but there are lots of supports out there, not just Uther. Banning that Garrosh, of course, Garrosh did save lots of his teammates.
Yeah, the taunts were good.
Taunts were also good, Gondar saving the team oftentimes, but they already have their pair. Genji plus Uther, they just have to build onto it. I think grabbing a Dehaka here.
I would love a Malthael here actually, because you don't necessarily need the global and you can dominate against Blaze and or ETC if they want to do stage dive again. And you have Uther. They can't pick Tyrael. I would love a Malthael in this situation specifically. Obviously the Dehaka is still strong. We'll wait to see. When we saw the Jaina, I was thinking we were going to maybe see a Leoric lock in because that's been such a common pairing here, but Gondar gets his Anubarak. We've got Jaina here with Genji, who has Dragon Blade, so there's a lot of poke damage, burst, and CC. It's a very, very dangerous comp. Its weakness, I think, is damage over time, though, because Uther has that burst healing only. So something like a Gul'dan could be really strong here, I feel. Can ruin Genji setups, could punish an Anubarak, and you have that great tick damage over time. It's also very strong for the 4-man.
What else do you need? You need a support. Not less likely going to be double support this time, because there is that Anubarak already. Cocoon threat will be real against that Rehgar. They're bringing some % damage against Anubarak, which has been soft counter oftentimes. It makes it harder for BlossoM to bring in that Leoric. I think GLuck is already on top of this guessing game.
Gonna beat Dehaka. It's kind of, it feels like what I watch Wiz play Dehaka in terms of rotational play and things like that. Feels like he's the general in the general's office on comms, like yelling at people what to do while he's also split pushing and making all the right choices. It feels like he's pulling the strings when he's Dehaka, whereas when he plays more aggressive heroes like Thrall or the Malthael, he's very good at it, but he loses that ability to control the macro game because it's not a global, it's not a strong pushing hero like the Dehaka is that can get you a fort, can punish slow rotations from GLuck. So I think for those reasons they chose a Dahaka and not the Malthael, although, you know, with no potential material, Malthael could be fantastic here. We're possibly never going to see Malthael again on the next patch because he is...
Yes.
I think the patch notes said they changed his damage to 0, and...
-4? It heals the opponents now?
Yeah, something like that. His heroics like nerfed and stuff, you know? Buffed that last rites.
Yeah, last rite is buffed. Definitely going to see that.
What, did I miss something? What's the oh no?
What?
Oh, I thought you saw something in game. I thought someone was playing a weird hero or something. You scared me.
No. I was getting along with you on
You're
the
like,
last
Wiz
rite.
is playing Chain. I'm like, no!
No, we're gonna have last rites. We did have that last week.
Yeah, it was
Once.
interesting.
And never again.
Never again, please. Not even after the buff. Just Malthael's gone. So Sonya. Although Sonya got like unnerfed. I don't know if that's official or not. I saw that, though, there are posts about that.
Wolf confirmed by Wolf. Sonya's coming back into the meta, guys. Poison Spear 200%.
I think it just went back to normal, but it wasn't in the patch notes. I don't know what that means.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, it's not It's not on this patch. Well, like they put. I heard that her values were reduced or put back to what they normally were, but
the
it wasn't
basic
in the patch
attack,
notes.
at least?
Basic attack, Nerves of Steel, and the Poison Spear were all reverted.
Oh, really?
But not in the patch notes. And I don't think it was mentioned in the Malthael nerf notes either, so I don't know if that was like fixed or addressed. Maybe I missed the blue post on that one, but maybe somebody can let me know later.
Everything will be on Reddit, so just keep in touch there.
Yeah. That's where I can find all the official patch notes that aren't in the notes. And everyone can complain about Chen not getting a buff, or sometimes getting nerfed. Chen lost today, by the way, guys. We missed the earlier game. Sorry about that.
And even in the interview, SCSC said Chen is a bad hero. And that was not what I said. That's what SCSC said.
That's
so
true.
That's official now. Well, here
Here
going for
comes
the
the
invade?
Yeah, Milky Way with a
Really?
good
Without
slide.
the Tychus, though.
Also, a really good slide, but Gondar gets out regardless. Going to be failed. This means that Dahaka gets so much more done mid. As you say, bottom. Tychus is mid. And is going to rotate up now. They have the camp pushed out first, GLuck does, so that means that BlossoM is going to have a slight advantage because they're going to have the cannon towers on their side and they're going to be able to clear this already damaged camp. But let's see what happens next because Tychus moved bot. GLuck is getting more soak overall. And uh-oh, Relic in trouble. Should be healed if they have the bio kill. Does not have it. What am I saying? Rhaegar is the one that needed for the heal there. It must have been on cooldown.
Well, he's a mecha Rhaegar, so he must have bio something, right?
Yeah, that was what was tricking me. They've got the mecha Dahaka too. Not the best color though.
I know you're a big skin fan.
Yeah.
I like the originals a lot more.
Well, everyone loves Underbright looks like a lurker. Gondar loves to use that skin to get the first Dragon Knight of the game.
Already 2:30 in game. Just with that pick from the top lane, that was enough for them to secure a Dragon Knight already.
This just proves that my theory of Malthael was incorrect because what we saw from the Dahaka this game so far has really been control of the shrines, control of the waves, and Tychus is just kind of running around trying to clean up the mess, trying to keep the experience even, but they just could not hold on to that Dragon Shrine. So that means that Dragon Knight's up. 20 seconds to go on this one. Tons of damage done with this in the early game. More than you could ever imagine. Plus they have Dahaka with this, so any structural damage means there's threats of split pushes. See what Modern Life can do with the wave clear that Jaina can provide too, and they're just pushing all these lanes into the cannon towers. Relic's trying to slow this down. And this cannon tower dead. Second one going to take a little bit of damage. Level 7's up for BlossoM as the terrorizing continues. They are just roaming around right now.
Yeah, BlossoM actually used that Dragon Knight to the full value. Used all the time, all the HP. Didn't really bring anyone else from the other lanes because GLuck didn't really care about it. They had Tychus doing the damage. Now BlossoM, they forced the rotation, got some damage to the walls for all lanes.
Gondar, very brave invade here. Modern Life was coming down, but he was a bit late. And even with Modern Life there, with the spell power reduction from the wizard, that would have been kind of nasty to take that fight. But again, rotation back for Dahaka mid. I do like that Sauron is staying in the top lane. Again, trying to minimize the experience deficit, but he's not here now. So much damage coming through the Milky Way. Relic helps body block to keep him alive, and this healing totem is actually worth its weight in whatever healing totems are bought in. And worth its weight in that instead of Feral Heart, I guess. The trade-off there, that's what it's worth.
It was a scary moment for Milky Way. Dudu was about to go in Swift Strike in to secure the kill, but it wasn't going to be close. So good patience there. But Wiz already on top here. Didn't really lose too much EXP, maybe just half the wave as he committed all the way down there. Blaze was soaking, so GLuck actually caught up the EXP somewhat, half of a level.
Yeah.
It was almost a full level apart right before.
BlossoM still on point though, or on track to hit 10 first. Try to get a second Dragon Knight. Shrines are up at 10. Oh, Milky Way doing the tank's job. Dudu doing the tank's job though. He's not a tank. Gondar comes over though. Okay, Shrines are up. Daka's going to try to squat top. Blaze is on him. Meanwhile, this push in the bottom has cleaned up the wall. It's further giving BlossoM that experience lead. Oh, if they get a pick here, it'd be huge. They get Cleanse. That's also nearly a pick, feels like. Okay, Milky Way, stun chain, does get his power slide away. Blaze versus Haka is super important right now. If either of them are able to get the solo kill, that is Dragon Knight confirmed for BlossoM. Like, really, you know, basically if Haka was able to get it, if solo kill goes to Blaze, then nothing massive happens, but at least would buy them time for 10.
For the next few seconds, BlossoM has an advantage of 10. Overlord, they knew the rotation of Genji coming up, but Relic dies to the Water Elemental.
Yeah, Water Elemental plus that Ice Lance coming through from Modern. Water Elemental is going to get blown up here now, but very well played.
Ooh, Taiga's going down from the deflect.
Yeah, this is going to be a kill. 2 kills before 10, so BlossoM will get this Dragon Knight. Really just maximizing the lead that they had. Feels like GLuck is a little bit stumped in this game as to how to deal with this global Dahaka and where to rotate. So Tygus keeps getting picked, or at least getting nearly picked, getting damaged. This time they actually got the kill because he's trying to soak experience to catch up, but he's getting found. And a lot of that's because, you know, I was joking earlier that Dudu was doing the tank's job, but because he's Genji, he can actually poke and look through bushes because he has an escape. So he's always getting vision. He's always tracking where the GLuck members are, where they can get a pick onto Overlord. This Dragon Knight not going to be as efficient, I think, as the first one, but still getting a lot of damage done. And might even get a second fort here if they push it hard.
They can get a second fort, and their next one should be top, and Blaze will be having a tough time defending that because they will be closer to 13 in that way.
I think they're going to get this with the Blizzard damage coming down.
They're kind of being scared. They want to go in, but because the Hakan can join anytime.
Especially next to that brush.
Milky Way not spotted, but keeping the side open. Keeping that word. Blaze had to go back now. That's even more time for Blaze to soak up EXP on top. That's having a tough time as a solo lane against the Haka. Seems like they want to work around the rotation, and they do have some answers, but BlossoM is changing their rotation every single time, so GLuck can't really follow that speed.
Yeah. It's tough, you know, because the Tychus is the one that has to keep up, and Overlord's trying what he can, and he's doing everything correctly, doing kind of the what we like to call lane swapping in the old days, where Tychus would actually be top. But this time he's like trying to match where Dahaka is and making sure they're not losing too much experience. In this case, trying to steal a neutral camp here while Dahaka's top. I mean, that's one thing you could do. It's a 5-man rotation, so they're losing experience, but maybe this gets them some structural damage. Maybe this helps them catch up by doing those, you know, knocking those cannon towers down. So the idea here is, with this heavy rotation, BlossoM didn't realize, didn't stop it. But while they do this, Dahaka does damage to the fort directly. So it's just trying to get them on even talent here before BlossoM hits 16. Water Elemental used here, and a lot of damage done to Milky Way. Smosh is interrupted, does get the Ancestral.
Now Odin joins the team fight, so that's going to be extra damage. Now there's that Dragon Blade.
Smosh again.
Smosh misses big time.
Just trying to zone there. Dudu gets out, is actually going to go ahead and Hearth Home, but Milky Way is down. Everybody's so low here that even without more damage from Genji, they can just clean this up with Modern's Ice Lances. Very much well placed. And I mean, the top lane, we had that free push from Dahaka. Now the Cap's going to clear the top fort. Keep wall is going to go down. And, you know, Divine Shielded Dragon Blades are pretty good. They chose Greymane because they couldn't take the Genji themselves, because they wouldn't have to use it for, and Uther would be used against them. So they took the best they could with just the Greymane that gave the Uther Genji, and that's not the main reason why they're losing. It's really the Dahaka pick, I feel. But in that team fight, you can just see the power of it. It's so rough.
It seems desperate. They're trying to catch the rotation up. Oh, this one's going to be tough.
This is actually crazy. I can't believe they're even trying to do
this.
this.
They don't have Jaina at least, so there's no AoE damage too much. They're going in. There's a big stun, but ETC's away from the game.
Bunker is deleted. So is Rhaegar. No more healing here. And it's just going to be resets coming through for the dashes for the Genji here without Dragon Blade, not even needed. Funny thing is, they could have canceled the Dragon Knight to drop Jane out and win the fight either way, but now they've won it without that. Now they've got the Dragon Knight pushing down this keep. They've got 16. With long death timers, this could actually be a game-ending push. It's going to be tough. Rhaegar's up in 5. Unfortunately, he's not really the one to save them. No Mosh Pit either.
I think they can do it. They do have Divine Shield. Dragon Blade coming back soon. Water Elemental also.
Nosong getting aggroed here by the keep. Pretty unfortunate, but 33% on this Dragon Knight. Kicks coming through. They are really trying to make this happen. They've got a 3-level lead in terms of scaling right now.
With
Bunker.
Time.
Yeah,
everything.
I think this is just going to be enough damage here. Dudu's doing what he can. Wiz on the backside, and BlossoM will take the series. 3-1. Mosh Pit not going to be enough to save them at the end of the day. It was a scary series to start off with a GLuck win. Game number 2 was anyone's game to take. BlossoM was able to turn it around. Game 3 with a crazy core call. GLuck was almost able to take that as well. The 3-1 scoreline does not tell the story of how close each and every game was. I feel like the 4th game was the most one-sided, and I think that GLuck lost their patience a little bit dealing with the Dahaka. And we've seen Tychus deal with this in the past by roaming around and getting that extra soak where he can. He's got decent wave clear. It's always on this map where he struggles, where he's running around trying to keep up with the global. Just couldn't make it happen. He was picked multiple times. Only killed once, I should say, but, you know, he was put down to low, had to Hearth Home or use the healing fountain because Genji was always tracking him.
Whenever I'm casting GLuck, they still have the same problem. The Saron 1 getting picked off way too much in the solo lane feigns. I think it's partially due to the shot calling, how many heroes they're missing from the lane, the rotations, really not knowing the rotations coming up. He should be careful individually. Just playing in here early, you should know by watching the minimap, okay, how many are gone? Are they doing camps or are they coming up? You should kind of get a feeling on that. But oftentimes when the opponent has pretty quick tempo, because speed of rotation, sometimes he goes super aggressive, like way too far away from the wall and gets picked off. I think the snowball really starts from that moment, which is often the case.
Yeah, I feel like what happens oftentimes is, I think you're so hitting the nail on the head with this. 4-man rotation, someone's pushing a wall, and he's like, well, no one's top, so I'm really going to push this to try to make up for what happens. But what happens in that moment is they get the damage done bot. He can't do the same because he's by himself with a Tyrael, for example, or Leoric. And then they rotate up and kill him also, and then do what they did in the bot lane to the top lane because they're all 4 there. This happens a lot. I completely agree with you.
Yeah, he grows that snowball for the opponent. I think if he actually stays passive, actually lose some EXP but stays alive, that can be a lot better for your team. I think their teammates are actually doing a great job, Blue Beetle, keeping the team this away. Milky Way CTC tonight, not as impressive as the other days compared to the other days.
Yeah.
Because, of course, he had lots of CCs to work against. Maybe just not feeling well as much. Overlord, when his Junkrat was banned even, I think that was a smart ban coming in. I think they were looking for that chance even. Game one, they had their best, one of the best one, really coordinated. But after that, BlossoM took it over, and the Spider Queen game, it was really close, but BlossoM at the end taking that game away from them.
I feel like they really prepared Tracer comps, and then when Tracer was banned in games 3 and 4, they just couldn't cut it anymore, and they kind of had to play on the fly, and they didn't have strong solo laners. The ETC stage dive was just ineffective on Sky Temple. They struggled against Dahaka games 3 and games 4. Those are the more one-sided ones. There were obviously some trade-offs in terms of how game 3 went with the crazy boss fights and stuff like that. But yeah, I think that they practiced really well and they prepared the Tracer draft just like we saw in game 1. from Miracle, the Tracer draft there. It's rising in popularity right now, and I think unless Tyrael gets nerfed, this is going to continue to be the case, especially when you have second pick, because you can grab that Tracer Malfurion together. You can grab the Tyrael right afterwards. Here's our results, 3-1 BlossoM. Again, much closer games than that scoreline shows. And I'm interested to see who we're going to hear from on BlossoM's side, maybe Wiz, just simply because he was the one who controlled the macro and also is kind of the shot caller in most cases.
Maybe due to tonight, as
that's true.
Hanzo really shined.
That's true.
In Spider Queen, alone as the damage.
Oh, we're coming back here. I thought we were about to jump to an interview.
We got caught. I was drawing something here, and then.
Yeah, I was like, you and I are just like, yeah. So that screen's up. We're gonna do highlights. I was like checking what time it was. I'm like, yeah, it's almost 10 o'clock. Let's go live a late night tonight, GLuck.
It's gonna be late, and maybe even Modern, because he has been. How many heroes did he play? He played 12 heroes, maybe 13 by tonight, and we haven't really heard from Modern at all. He has been really flexing in for the team, just picking whichever hero comes to him. He has been just not really dying too much, not really becoming the spotlight, but just holding on to the team.
Yeah, he's been a really good secondary DPS basically, and I think it's a better role for him than the solo role he was playing before. He seems to be a little more comfortable in it, and I feel like he enjoys it more.
Yeah, he used to be lots of the Ragnaros, the solo lane player back in what was his old team?
It was he was in
Tempest a long time ago.
Yeah, he was in Tempest, but then he moved and
to BlossoM.
Yeah, BlossoM, I think the whole time, right? But he changed his name to Mora. That's what's tricky. So he was in BlossoM the whole time, but he changed his name from Mora back to Modern. Not Modern Life, but Modern. We call
Modern Life to Mora to Modern now.
He went to the Eastern Clash in China. That was his first international event. Tempest, he got third, but at least they were able to get top 3. And you know, he has some international experience. He wants to do that again, but on a bigger scale. This time, mid-season brawl, and then later on BlizzCon.
Yeah, BlossoM, even if they want to, like I mentioned from the beginning of the broadcast here, as Nasang wants to go to that big stage, but they're really shaky. Even against GLuck tonight, they showed lots of shaky moments. If they go to that big stage, I think it's going to be very tough for them, even if they make it. I think this win tonight really secures them somewhat, them going to the Eastern Clash, but it's going to be tough going to that big stage.
Certainly will be. We're going to watch some highlights here of some of the crazy action. This is game 1. We saw the Tracer comp really shine. GLuck was just able to destroy with it. Was allowed one more time in Tomb of the Spider Queen. And this one was a really close game. BlossoM was able to take in the end. We saw back-to-back lobbiers on both sides, like triples back-to-back. Tranquility really showing its power too with this Tracer comp where you have the shields from Tyrael, you get the heals through, but the last fight was won by BlossoM, as you can see here, kind of turning it around. Redemption for Uther was one of the big things that happened here as Nasang comes back to life. Modern Life escapes here with the dimensional shift, and that's it. Tomb of the Spider Queen was the game where we had the core call. Now watch this boss fight. This is without Holy Ground. Look at the stuns coming through. The stage dive as well with a huge slide.
Genji
that means they basically can't even try to get on the boss.
Yeah, Genji's the only one, and there was a massive shove from Blue Beetle that secures them the boss, but look what happens right at... Oh, okay.
Yeah,
2%, and then actually they lost the game.
Yeah, so they actually lost the game, but that was really cool to talk about it a little bit further.
Loading Mosh.
Yeah. Because that was the one time that the stage dive actually worked well. It got them into position to get a cool power slide to prevent everyone from getting onto the boss. I'm glad we got to watch that again because I kind of missed that the first time around because I was so preoccupied with the Holy Ground not being there. So this is like the Dragon Knights like helping to get the Merc camp. Jay is like, I'm not getting out of here. They win the numbers fight. This is actually not that interesting of a highlight. It's actually just kind of a sad fight for GLuck because they were stuck there. They didn't want to continue to contest this. They just kind of got trapped in there and died as a result. We are going to jump into this interview now with Gondar from Team BlossoM. GLuck, take it away.
Let's meet Gondar, the protector of the team from BlossoM. Basically, today was the determining day for you to either make the passport or not. Oh, I already made the passport, just in case, you know. But after tonight's win, it really feels great right now.
되게 연습도 많이 하고
I think GLuck as a new team into HGC, I think they really practiced really hard.
뚫면서 했는데
So I was really scared actually
잘된 것
when I was
같아서
playing
좋습니다.
tonight. I think with the result, I
사실
think
뭐 팀
pretty much
자체가
satisfied
아니라
about
선수로
today.
비교하자면 예전에 이제 파트 2에 작년에 곤다르 선수가 갑자기
When you came into HGC last year,
모습 많이
in phase number 2,
특히나 뭐 저랑 사적으로 대화를 했을 때 블록 팀이 굉장히 이제 걱정이 많이 된다.
was it as worrisome as GLuck as they came in just now with in the HGC in 2018?
기쁘시겠네요. 그러면 이제 게임 관련으로 좀 가보자면 사실 제 생각에는 블라썸이 좀 더 압도하면서 이기되
personally, I thought BlossoM
했는데 1세트에서 굉장히
had the momentum even in game 1.
개인이 뭐라고 생각하십니까?
Why do you think you guys lost game 1?
정크렛이 되게 불쾌하게 하더라고요 게임을. 네.
Well, Junkrat made
사실
the game really
정크렛에서
uncomfortable for
쓰는
us.
모습을 많이 보여줬잖아요 글럭이.
네.
근데
He made lots of great plays.
이렇게까지 저희가 당할 줄은 몰랐고요.
I actually did not know that GLuck was going to come out that great in game number 1.
트레이서를 쓴 전략도 좋았고.
And also
그냥
Mafurian Tracer, that duo was really good in game 1.
글럭이 뱀픽이랑 한타 운영 다.
I think GLuck overall with their rotation, their teamwork, the team fight, and also the drafting skills today. I think they were really prepared for today's match.
말씀을 해주시는데 하늘 사원에서
네.
이제 게임을 다 이기고 있었잖아요. 게임을 이기고 있는 상황에서 우두머리를 상대가
Of course, you were
트라이했고
winning. They were going for the boss in Sky Temple.
중계하면서 나상 선수가 있어서 이건 모른다라고 했는데 정말 우두머리를 뺏기고 핵가까지 나올 수 있는 상황에서 2% 남기고
You guys lost the boss, but it went down to 2%.
상황이 나왔는지 말씀해 주실 수 있나요?
What was actually? What were some of the things that were going around at that moment?
사실 우두가 마성의 매력이 있는 것 같아요.
I think boss triggers a lot of people.
이게 게임을 이기고 있으면 꼭 우두를 쳐서 핵각을 보고 싶어가지고.
Like if when you're winning, you want to go for the boss to win the game, secure the game. But even when you're losing, you want to turn that around with the boss.
거기 이끌려가지고 치다가 우두를 뺏기고 아니면 킬을 땄어야 되는데 둘 다 못한 거 봐가지고.
We lost the boss. We were trying to do both. We were trying to win the team fight and take the boss at the same time. I think that's why we lost the boss so hard.
이렇게 지금 하시고 계신데 뭐 일단 그러면 사실 하늘사원 같은 경우는 이겼고 용의 둥지에서도 좋은 모습을 보여줬는데 계속 가로우시를 좀 고집하고 있잖아요. 팀 자체도 가로우시가 제일 많이 사용이 됐고
You're playing lots of Garrosh even in game 4.
제일 안 좋아요. 이 가로우시를
Actually, it does not have the best win rate. Pretty low to be in fact.
네.
Do you like it so much?
제가 보고 왔어요. 오늘로서는 좋아질 수도 있어요.
저는 가로시를 되게 좋아하거든요.
I like Garrosh so much.
스타일상 솔직히
It fits my style.
제가 지고 들어가는 느낌이 되게 싫어요.
네.
I don't like to lose against the opponent tank player.
제일 많이 보여드리는 것 같아서.
I think Garrosh. I think I'm able to
쓰고 있고.
do my best on it.
이제부터 올리면 되죠 이스턴에서.
역시 이스턴은 확정적으로 간다.
And that with win rate, I can start bringing that up in the Eastern Clash.
같은 경우는 사실
Are you saying you have already secured yourself in the Eastern Clash?
제일 이제 주가라고 하는 그런 치수가 높은 인데 이제 팬분들에게 한마디 해주세요.
Of course, the last question. The last question. Shout out to your fans, please.
말은 좀 부담스럽긴 한데 팬분들이 저를 좋아해 주신다는.
It's always a big pressure, actually, for me to have lots of fans. And I hear that we do have lots of fans. So.
두두 형이 되게 잘했거든요.
And I do want to give a shout out to Dudu. He played really well tonight.
언니에서 혹시 만나면 잘했다고 한 번만 해주세요.
And of course, if you guys see him tonight or even in Hero League, just press on to the enter button and say great job Dudu in chat.
Such a kind thing to say, GLuck. Well, with this win, BlossoM will take the 4th place spot for now. It's not 100%. They have one game left, so will GLuck. So there's a chance that this switches, I believe. Let me think, it was -14 versus, or sorry, -4 plus +2. Yeah, it's possible.
I think they have almost guaranteed because next BlossoM's up against Tempest and GLuck is up against Ballistics or the other way. But they're up against a stronger team. So very likely.
Yeah, it's pretty much secured. It's not 100% secured though. That they got that 4th place spot. So we will see. As obviously there's no going up to KSP Black's level there at +8 at the moment. So you're not getting up there. Remember, guys, we are going to take a week off after next week, but tomorrow's matches are going to be really, really good, and it's going to be pretty hype. Ballistics versus KSP Black, the old rivalry. Neither in first place this season, but still the rivalry that's been as old as time.
Yeah, it used to be the first place deciding match. We used to call that unofficial finals, but Tempest topping both of them, it was insane. And Tempest is guaranteed first place, and this will be the second place decider. They're all going to Eastern Clash, and that's almost guaranteed already.
And Tempest is not 100% guaranteed first place, but like given the last
like
opponent,
102% only.
yeah, it's it seems pretty likely. But if they lose their match and Black gets a 3-0, Black could pass them. But pretty unlikely given the
pretty
scenario.
unlikely. And Tempest is going against BlossoM, and losing 0-3 against BlossoM, I don't think that's going to come too soon. Maybe after a week of break, BlossoM could play in the best shape of form. Tempest in they eat too much and they get all greasy and stuff. Maybe even I don't know. And the
I don't even know what you're talking about.
The patch though, we'll be in a different patch.
That's true.
At least if Maev is out there,
I don't know. I don't know if Maev will be available. I think it's gonna be Maev patch. Yeah, with Maev disabled. Here are the matches though. As we said, the legendary, as close as we can get to a telecom war in Heroes of the Storm, Ballistics versus KSP Black, the two titans of this tournament. The Miracle versus Feliz will be the first matchup. Feliz needs to turn this season around. Miracle as well cannot afford to lose to Feliz. They'll be sitting towards the bottom of the barrel of things instead of just kind of mid-bottom. So that's an important match for both teams, Miracle and Feliz. But the second match, that's the one that you want to check out. Do not miss it. It's going to be happening around 8 p.m. KST. So, you know, we watch the first match, get warmed up, check it out. Depending on how long the first one lasts, second match times may vary. GLuck.
Ballistics versus KSP Black. That's going to be an exciting one. I think it can be even better as Tempest is out there, and I think they're really salty. Both teams after losing to Tempest, they have to at least take this one to their house, their homes. Here.
Loser takes third, basically. So it's very important. This will kind of secure you that second place seed and that extra prestige. So guys, remember, do not miss that match tomorrow. We've got Europe coming up in a few hours' time right here on this channel. Later on, there'll be North America. But for myself and GLuck, you'll be back tomorrow with HGC Korea. See you then.